In terms of actually how it should have gone up, it went up by far too much, far too quickly. By doubling the prices, you literally created a whole new economical standpoint for the server. It wasn't took the economy that we had before and flipped on its head. By doubling prices, there's been fewer rebels anywhere, and they've also just been shooting quicker as well.
You're saying because of the prices increased, people haven't valued their lives more, they've started RDMing or basically fail RPing more.
The increase is only
They're more scared to die.
Yeah, they are very scared to die now, and the people who are like in the money sort of thing, they're just like, okay, well, we won't be coming on until the prices of weapons have decreased, because like now, like as Freewheel said, how much it is for weapons, that you can go from spending 100k on a loadout to spending like nearly $500,000 on just a normal loadout.
Guys, normally it's like straight away.
Hello. Right, what am I missing?
Okay, so Shockwave, what do you think about the current changes due to rebels and corporations and stuff like that? what we're chatting
5
about
mil is a bit too expensive. Maybe put it
Yeah.
at 3 mil.
Or 2.5.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to put a lot of newcomers
Blazer, if you
newcomers
just
off.
just speak if you want to speak. That's why we're all here.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I think the prices are pretty fair. I'll tell you the reasons for that. Well, first of all, you can get Rebel pretty easy, like doing a couple of runs and that's it, you're advanced, okay? Hence you get access to heavy weaponry and you get access to Island Snack Bar, which is RPGs and stuff, right? So now, okay, the people who have the advanced server is gonna have an advantage, but the new ones will have to take more time doing more runs, actually trying to roleplay more before they can get their hands on a gun and start killing people.
Blazer, that point's irrelevant, because if you see the number of advanced rebels and compare that to the amount of people you see running around with RPGs, the difference is very visible. Because RPGs, first of all, they're not very effective, they're inaccurate, and they're a waste of money in most cases. What an RPG can do, a good 7.6 rifle can do. And
Depends on how you use it, that's one.
In terms of making people work for it, it just means that people are now going to have to grind like their tits off before they're able to with it. I think if the changes do stay like they do, then you have to add, after all, I think he's maybe got to add some things to the heavy weaponry in the gang hideout. Jump into the gang hideout, buy a 50 cal and be done with it for that time. Even if it was 1.2 mil or whatever.
Yeah, they're gonna grind their asses off, but when you guys buy something, okay, decent, you're gonna lose a lot of money. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Like, well, everybody's mentioning that it's gonna cost $500,000 and maybe $1 million for a good loadout. Keep in mind though that you're not really supposed to have the best weapons, the best armors every time you leave a safe zone. It is perfectly fine for someone to walk around with guns every now and then, like normal pistols and, you know, simpler loadouts. You don't need the best of the best every time.
But the problem with that is that there's two different parts of this, like, of the spectrum. There's people like FTP, FTS, NL, Ghost, and the Rebels who have the money to be able to get the best every time, and so for the future of the community, it's unwise, in my opinion, to keep them this high, because it's going to affect the new players. It's not going to affect the current players who know how the economy works and know when to do runs and what runs to do. So it's just going to put a dampen on newer rebels. Like, there's a new gang, I don't know what they're called. It's like they've got numbers in their name or whatever. Like, I don't know what their name is. But they're like trying really hard. They're like grinding constantly. I've robbed them at least like 3 times. And they're not being able to compete because they're running around with MK20s against MK200s and MK18s and stuff like that, and it's not a fair fight.
Has the price at MK200's been upped as well?
Yeah.
I was going to
Alright.
say, if it ain't, you could just go buy an MK200 and run around Kavala with that.
Alright, I don't think Paul's talked yet. So, Paul, what do you think about this whole situation then? What is your opinion on it?
Well, I spoke with the admins a little bit about it, well, the developers, sorry. And we came up with a few ideas for how people will get access to the high caliber weapons. Not saying that this is finalized, we were just talking about it, throwing ideas around. But one thing we came to the conclusion of, Joe, for Lynxes, some of the higher tier rebel weaponry, we could make it so that they're craftable, and that the certain rare parts for those weapons would have a chance of spawning in the Federal Reserve. That way, even if you're a lower tier or a lower class rebel and you get a blasting charge and you do a fed, you have a chance of getting this part to craft a like a super weapon, pretty much. And I've always been up for the idea of making it so that whenever you can capture a gang hideout, you can get access to like AK-74Us and some basic rebel equipment, even without a
It would
rebel
basically
license.
be like a rare drop, you're saying, of getting best one. Okay.
And then how many new gangs rob the Fed? Because like, not only is it a problem for newer gangs to fight with
That's
the
something
rebels,
for new. That's something
It's-
for existing gangs to work towards. For new
Yeah,
people, is my idea about the gang hideouts spawning basic rebel weapons.
yeah. But
Yeah,
like,
that sounds pretty good.
Okay.
yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay,
But
how about we do this thing also as well? You know how the market, like, whenever you sell an item, the market just prices drops to nearly half.
yeah,
Okay, how about you just disable the whole market?
I agree. I really hate the dynamic market. It
Because
works good
it's
in
currently
practice,
bugged.
but
Like, if you sell one batch of anything, okay, the item will drop. Okay, and there's those people who just go do illegal runs to boost something else. That's quite not, the legit thing to do. So yeah, we either get to like a market that doesn't drop too high in price, okay, and doesn't increase that much as well, stays average, or just disable it all and get rid of it. And yeah, that's one. Also, for the cops, okay, because seeing the cops dealing with the rebels way too much in Kavala, I suggest that like cops can initiate on anybody with a gun on his back, whether he's Corp, Rebel, or Civ. Okay, so they can can deal
do
with
that
something.
anyway.
They do that anyway, Blazer.
The cops will always roleplay with someone who has a weapon on their back. It isn't always hostile roleplay.
Unless they're outnumbered or something. Unless it's unwise for them to get involved with 8 armed men. Obviously, they'll value their lives and just keep on walking. But one thing that I find as well is that if this change wanted to be implemented like Dark thought it would, he should just take away basically all weapons, because it's a roleplay community and at times it feels like a wasteland. So would it be a terrible idea if cops and rebels and corporation alike were to be kind of taken away from 7.62s and 50 cals and instead got access to TRGs, MK20s, and that harder to get stuff was, well, harder to get. And
See,
then
the thing is, what I don't get is why rebels have MXMs and MXCs. Why can't they just stick with AKs? I mean, that's rebel guns, right?
but not everyone has the Apex DLC. Like, personally, I have it, but I didn't have it for
Yeah.
But the AK, like the small AK, costs like 20k. Is that
Yeah.
Apex now?
Yeah,
Castor, what was he saying?
if you look at it like that, like they're rebel guns, that means the police should only have armed officers, and not every officer be
Yeah,
armed.
that's what we're aiming towards as well. We're trying to aim towards the police. Police
No
only
one's
have
gonna-
robbers.
No one's going to play at that. the main attraction is the fighting. No matter how we all look at it, role play, the main attraction is the fighting. So no one's gonna. You start taking big guns off people, and rebels and cops, and then not give certain cops. No one will play. Because
Yeah.
yeah, because they
It's a
like
fair
shooting
point.
and killing.
But it could give. I think it would open the server up to a different type of player if it was something where you had to.
Yeah, which is a massive risk. Sorry to interrupt you,
Fine.
mate. Which is a
Again,
massive
like-
risk.
Yeah. No, that's all right. I completely agree. It is. I don't know. It's one. I think Dark kind of like it was sitting on the fence when he made these changes. And
No,
it
I
was
don't think he
bad.
was sitting on the fence. I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to level the playing field a bit. But the way he's doing it is like we always do it, which is punish the rebels. You know what I
He's
mean?
punishing everyone at this point. He's increased the price.
Well,
of
no,
everything.
Rhinoid, I've been playing as a rebel, yeah? The
Yeah.
rebels are at a massive disadvantage. The police have currently got it easy as fuck, yeah? Police have got it far too easy. The rebels are being punished again. Civilians are being punished. And at the end of the day, we're all here. There's how many of us are here to chat to people? We're not. We're here to shoot each other, yeah? But while we like role players, you don't feel like that. You can chat and fuck about as well. It's the game that we all love. So if we're going to start taking the ability to shoot each other away, people are just going to leave. It's that simple. They're just going to leave. I think this is a solution at the current time now, as the players are building up, and we're the community ambassadors because we're in here talking about it. We should. I agree with the guy who was talking, the rebel guy. I think we should encourage. For the next near future, I think we should encourage more fighting and more because it brings more people in. And right now, like I say, the rebels are at a massive disadvantage compared to the police. The police have got it far too easy. That's what I think. And this is why now you've got people it's all turning to shit in Kavala again. And why is that? Because we all like killing each other. It's that simple. We all like the fight. No matter how you look at it.
Well,
We
can I
all
suggest
like the
something
fight,
then?
but we don't like the fight every day. We like the fight, and another day is like, let's just fuck about. Let's go to the market and just wind the police up. We're not actually kill them. We like that as well. Granted, not as much as liking the fighting, but we all like killing each other. You know what I mean? That's what I think. And like I say, I think the police have got it too easy, punishing the rebels again and making it harder and harder for the rebels. Same thing has happened. What we all know has happened. You make it too hard for them. Just go and find another server where it ain't as hard for them. And it, like that guy said, it ain't fair on the people who have already done all the grind. It ain't fair on the new people coming in, making it harder on them. So we're making it harder on them, but easier for us to rob them because we've got everything. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't either. Yeah.
He didn't implement it so that the
Yeah.
rebels would lose gunfights. He was implementing it so that the rebels would
Yeah, but
value
Paul-
their gear more in the gunfights.
Yeah, but they shouldn't be valuing the gear. You know what I mean? That's no fun, is it? What
There's
fucking
value
fun is
in
that?
the
Well, that
life
was
at the
his
moment.
reasoning behind it. I'm just
So
saying.
cop gear, you can get a cop loadout. Most cops can fully gear up, spikes,
But
drift
20k.
toolkits, 20k maximum 20k, and it takes a rebel what like 250k now to get like
For me,
Yeah.
for me to load out in full cork, it cost me about 230k around about that.
yeah, it cost me 250k to get an MK14, stuff like that. So it's 10 times more expensive as a rebel than it is for a cop. And cops get like what you call it? They have unlimited backup. Cops are the biggest gang on the server.
Yeah, cops are the biggest gang on the server, but they used to be at the lower advantage. Now they're all at the higher advantage, which I
Like-
think is the wrong way around.
You have the cops that like are part of the SWAT and stuff. That those guys should be on like patrolling and stuff like that, and like being able to instantly be there to back up officers who can't deal with the rebels. Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
the commissioner before Chris, when it was modded, he got it right. He had
Well, there's far too much corporation police involvement at the minute. Far too much. the corporal walking around as if they're the police, and the police are just standing there letting them process people and letting it happen. I think the police cooperation, there's just far too much of it.
Definitely.
And what happened to, well, we're getting ripped. Well, get fucking ripped. You join the police. It's the hardest thing in the world. The hardest thing in the world is to fucking bring 6 police officers to fucking 6 fully armed guys, rubber one of the bastards, get them out to the police station, process them within the fucking rules without stitching the poor bastard up to prison. Then you get wrecked. Just standing there and blowing his head off, I don't think that's get wrecked. I think that's just get die, and that's a whole load of, well, you're just dead, ain't you? It's over.
I think the next time that anything game breaking like this happens, it should be heavily involved by the police, so that the police can make changes accordingly. Because if this had all happened, and then Paul and Shockwave and other high-ranking police officers just went like, alright, that means we're gonna be patrolling with vermins, apart from a select few that do such and such, for an example. I obviously don't want that to happen.
It used to be like that. It used to be really difficult and a long, arduous, hard process to get your hands in the police force on a live weapon or a tin of gas or a fucking vehicle that weren't a 4-wheel drive.
I'm pretty
That's
sure
still
at the start of another server, obviously the new Amrock, when there was new civs on, we never used to patrol with MXMs or MXCs. We only patrolled with tasers.
So now the new players that join, they don't get that experience. They get the experience of a militarized police, and now they're stuck in between two things. The rebels are robbing them, and the police are arresting them.
Listen, what happened to the police being like small admins? Because at the end of the day, we used to get told, it's like, well, you're like a small admin. You're the face of the server. You help run the server. You help make it enjoyable and fun for people. So if that regularly, more than occasionally, involves going through small losses, that's what you're expected to do. Whereas now, they'll fucking stitch you up and send you to prison, just so they ain't got that small loss over a fucking illegal vest or something. You know what I mean? Days are long gone, man.
The thing about that is, it only works when you have a bunch of cops that's active and are clear on what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do. They don't let people push them around by being offensive or quoting rules in their faces.
Yeah,
that is happening.
User joined your channel. User joined your
Yo
channel.
guys, can I just suggest something? Sure. Why don't we return the prices back to normal, okay? That's one. And 2, remove all the robbers from the cops. Give them lives full armor.
No, because people bitch about them getting killed by cops.
Yeah,
because they always think that they should be able to get
remove
away
all the
one way or
robbers. You
another.
should remove all the lives.
Yeah, but I don't understand how one rubber
completely
bullet.
The other way around. Like, exactly.
Yeah, but there's one
You can't
thing you
just
guys are
remove
all
them like
missing.
that.
One at a time, boys.
Okay, all of you guys are missing one point. When you rob a guy, okay, and you put him in a car,
Why the...
Vegas comes and do whatever you can, to stop him from metagaming. You'll always find his friends 1 kilometer away from you, waiting for you to drive by, and they just can spray your car, kill their friend.
Yes, but that's not a cop problem. That's an admin problem.
That's tough shit. Yeah,
Yes,
you
can't
handcuff
enforce it.
problem.
That's a
Well,
rule
get better
breaker.
at being a cop. Don't bring them on land. Only bring them out on the heli. Don't always stay on the main road. You know what I mean? That's just an excuse for laziness as a police officer, Blazers. That is. Get better. We used to get told. We used to tell the cadets on training, you are gonna 99% of the time lose. You're gonna die a lot.
Yeah. Do you know what you were saying about taking away live rounds completely?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Paul.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, he posted it. His police tactics training, where he's gonna make it.
Oh yeah,
it's
I've
like
seen that.
It's hard for Paul to just take him away because you've got to change the training. Because if the training's been involved, you've dropped him, he's dead. Well, now you've got new training because say you go to a situation and there's 6 armed guys there, you're going to be doing well to get 2 of them back to the police station. So then on situations, you've dropped someone with rubber bullets. Then you've got to work as a team to get him out, the rubber bulleted one. He's the focus then. You've got one down and then you get, so your whole training will have to change. So I don't think it's just as easy for Paul to say, all right, no more fucking rubbers. You're going to have to implement that within the training. That means retraining officers. Then you'll have officers say, "Oh, this is shit. I'm fucking super fucking duper rank. I shouldn't have to do this training." No, you should, because it's a whole new method of operating. We're now going to concentrate, and it's hard to do. It's a hard thing to do, but then it makes it fair, because at the end of the day, in real life, the police just don't kill everyone. You know what I mean? But then again, we know it ain't real life. It's a fucking game.
I love that point.
Yeah, exactly.
But like,
and besides, if you take lethals away, the rebels, obviously, even the experienced rebels especially, will just attempt to abuse the lack of lives by staying on rooftops and so on to avoid any chance of being taken.
No, I don't agree, because I've been through it before. Now you get the fucking randoms that come in that try it, but your main core people who play every day, and they're the ones that you're trying to keep happy, because at the end of the day, without them players, you ain't got players. You know what I mean? You got no one to fucking shoot. So I don't know. I was like that. I was like, no, they're cunts. They're all cunts. But no, they don't. They tend to get a bit fairer once like I've said to you before, Paul. There's a reason you've currently got people constantly outside the police station, mate, killing police officers, because they feel aggrieved. They feel aggrieved by an overpowered, overgeared, overruled force, which you currently are.
Well then, instead, if they wanted to fix it, this is what we're doing here. Like, this is the right way to do it. Standing outside the police station and killing cops over and over again is only going to make things worse.
They're making a point. They're just trying to say,
it's not making a point.
It's not going to
make us want to gear up even harder and come out and.
Yeah, well, they're making a point. Listen, sorry to interrupt you again, mate. They're making a point, but as we all know, it also makes them feel better, because it does. Because it's like, ha, fuck you, I blew your head off, which feels good. Yeah. Well, yeah, because there's a reason you're not RPing more. Because through past experience, you know you're just going to get shot dead.
I've been told by the majority of my cadets, they just don't want to leave the station most of the time, because they walk out, a rebel will run up to them, and unless that cadet strips naked, they're dead.
Yeah. Well, rebels will do that all day, every day for 6 months. People will never get bored of executing people. So don't wait for that to happen, because it will never happen.
I've just finished 1 week as a cadet, and my days have consisted of the times we actually get out on a patrol. We either get robbed and sent back instantly, like no minimalistic roleplay. You get held up, robbed, and sent back, or they just straight up kill you. You don't get to do anything. And as you all know, a cadet without a body armor is dead in about one bullet.
What about we make it so that a rebel can't attack a town, or can't attack the police without having a reason? Like, say they got
that will make it.
Well, no, their reason is they're the police and they're rebels.
Well,
no, the reason.
I mean, what? I'm not towards the police. Like, the rebels can fuck the police up all day, but I mean specifically between rebel and civilians. Like, it actually feels like not that bad when you kill a cop. You're like, yeah, nice, fuck you, cop. But when you kill a civilian, it's like, wow, I just killed a freshman, I'm a dickhead. But at the end of the day, it doesn't stop you doing it. So, the reason, and it always has been for as long as I can remember, the reason the rebels were there was as the civilians' protectors. They were like the liberators, sort of thing. But that's not what they're like here. They're like, kill everything and everyone. But it should be back to when, it was, the rebels and the civilians versus the police. It was, a stance against the police. It was,
yeah, but nobody want to do this right now.
Why not?
Everybody hates everybody.
Yeah, but what?
All right, let's get back onto the reason why we were all
called here, or well, all the community ambassadors were called here, the prices. Does anyone think they should change, and why?
Yeah, they should be
change
halved at
because-
least toward the
I
market.
do. I think you should put them back to what there was. That's my look on it.
Yeah, same. They should be.
In fact, I
put
think you
back
should
what
make.
they were.
In fact, Reinhard, I think looking at it from a marketing fucking view, you know what I mean? Because we're getting more players, it's a perfect opportunity to do it. I think there wouldn't be a problem in the next like 2 to 3 weeks. Is even making it a bit easier for them to get it. You know what I mean? And then gradually slow it down.
Or using
Because it just
Freewheel's
attracts
idea.
players. It just attracts players, man.
Using Freewheel's idea and putting some like AK-47Us, some TRGs in the gang hideouts that you can get, because it just means there's a bit of fun for civilians that don't want to grind 24/7. Because it gives them a chance.
exactly.
Because otherwise they have to grind before they
Yeah,
can.
exactly.
touch
And
an
what does
assault
it give?
rifle.
What does it give them a chance to do? It gives them a chance to have fun. Yeah, because that's what they're here for. Yeah, so then they're going to be like, well, that was fucking fun. I'm going back there, and then you can slowly, because this is the tipping point when you get up to 60, 70 players. It's either going to go one way, back down to 30, 40 regular players, or up where Dark's got to get 2 servers again, like he had to before. You know what I mean? No, it's not easy.
Right,
It's
so,
not easy for him.
guys,
It's not easy for Paul.
Let me just say something real quick. So, with regards to this meeting, I appreciated that you guys actually give a shit and you said this up and stuff. I really appreciate it. I've heard there were a lot of negative remarks on the forums, which we tried to diffuse. However, we failed to. Now, listening to your ideas at the moment, we're already having issues with the firearms license being extremely cheap, and the fact that the gang hideout, as far as I know, you can still get some pistols. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. We're still having people that are hobos just attempting to rob other civilians, and also a lot of cases of RDM from random hobos because they don't know the rules. They come in thinking that it's a wasteland server. They see guns, extremely free access and really easy to get, and they go on and kill everyone, like expecting that they're going to get away with it because they don't know that it's an RP server. So there just needs to be that stage of development that players need to have in order to get access to guns. So at the moment, you can already get a pistol the first thing when you get on the server. So a firearms license is like 20k or 30k, and you also have enough money to buy a pistol. So with regards to guns, we're already being really lenient with them. With regards to the guns, I've heard that the biggest annoyance with them is the 7.62s, that, like, from what I could understand on the forums. The reason behind the 7.62 price increase is that people that are going to have 7.62s, they are not going to aim to roleplay. Let's be honest. They're going to aim at being at a distance, and they're going to use the 7.62 at the best advantage to snipe people off. Because that's why you would buy a 7.62, so that you shoot people from a long distance. Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure we all agree with that.
Yeah.
So since you are not going to roleplay, and since you are going to kill civilians or cops or corporation without roleplaying, I mean, you are going to roleplay obviously because you have to initiate, but still, like, your main aim is to kill people. You have to pay a price for that. You have to pay a really big price, because this server is not meant to be a killing server. It's meant to be a role-playing server. And if you want to kill people with 7.62s without paying a price for it when you get killed or get sent to jail, then go play on a wasteland server. That's my input on that. With regards to the regular guns, I had a chat with, I think it was HBB, boss, I think that clan, and we had a pretty long discussion about it, and we agreed on possibly reducing the smaller guns, so the stuff that you get in the regular license stuff. So that stuff may be reduced, because I agree that
the server
80K
just crashed.
for I don't know.
But like Dan,
Yes.
with that,
Did it crash?
like,
Yeah, it crashed.
Yeah, it just did crash.
Dark?
User left
Yeah,
your
it did,
channel.
it's restarted itself there.
Been fixed. It's online now.
but like with that point, Dan, as Caster said and as Fierce said, at the end of the day, killing people is what attracts people, and like
Yeah, then if
whatever
you're
you-
going, one second, because you have a really wrong premise on that. If killing people is what attracts you to a server, then you shouldn't come on a role-playing server. You should go on a wasteland server.
No, but what like?
Because that's not the point of an RP server.
No, however,
Yeah, but
however,
where's the
Yeah,
RP then?
you RP by being a so for instance, I've seen a lot of rebel situations in which people, I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, there was a couple of old videos where a big rebel gang met up with a really big cop group and they had a discussion about it, and they like provoke people and use their guns in order to create role-playing situations, i.e. hostage taking, wars. They don't have to be all about killing. So you use those guns and you use that gear in order to provoke other people, in order to force a role-playing situation to break out. Because let's be honest, if you're going to be a group of civilians that are going to try to, I don't know, take maybe 3 cops, 4 cops hostage, they're gonna rubber bullet you and they're gonna proceed the roleplay by having you in restraints. However, if you're going to be a big rebel gang with big guns, they're going to be scared of you, and you don't have to kill them. You can take them hostage, for instance, because
so
if
that
they
means
see
that
9
the
rebels,
big
then-
gangs. That means the big gangs again are prospering, and it means the smaller people coming in who don't have the numbers, who don't have the funds to be able to buy those things to, as you said, make the cops afraid of them. They're just gonna lose out. And like,
But
as
why
in
should
terms
they
of-
be able to kill cops and take cops hostage if they're still civilians?
No, but like if you come on to a server and you're just grinding day in day out, it's gonna lose its appeal. That's why we said if you want to have the prices like they are, which they shouldn't be, they should be they should be cheaper whatever happens. That means that there has to be some sort of middle way, because right now you're grouping all of the civilians, and the civilians are a large faction. You know, you have the civilians who've just joined, who have 20 to 100k, but you also have the civilians that don't have, you know, they have what 800k, and they can't afford to buy, you know, that 1.5 million rebel license, but they still want to have fun, and they can't do that with pistols. That means they can rob maybe 2 or 3 people and slowly gear up that way, but it's just tedious and boring, and they've done that grind for that money. There should be at least some leniency.
Well,
So
perhaps
you're
there.
basically saying that robbing maybe 1 or 2 people doing copper or doing iron, for instance, or doing a gas station robbery requires the same gear as robbing a Federal Reserve, because that's what you just said in your point.
But no one
We're
robs
not
the Federal
grouping
Reserve
them at
with
all.
the PRG. No one like when you say there's a firearms license and people can get pistols, that's fine. But when you've got, you know, 2 people with pistols against 12 people with 7.62s,
They don't go against 12 people with 7.62s. Why would you need to go against them? Then you roleplay with them. You
What
don't
if they
have
get
to have a firefight against them.
What if they get robbed and say
Then they
hands
get
on
fucked.
head?
I mean, that's what would motivate them in order to keep on doing the runs. If they don't get robbed by these people, they don't see a point in getting big guns, unless to look fancy.
Where's the shot?
They do
there's
a run,
no
they
need
get
to
robbed. They
have
do a run,
big
they get
guns
robbed.
so early. I don't want you to go rob hobos intentionally. I'm just proving Nugget's point, because Nugget just said you can't defend yourself if you're a civilian if you're getting robbed by big armed rebels. Well, no shit. I mean, look at real life. If you get robbed by real armed rebels, you don't have a chance, because they're
Yeah, but
armed,
in
they're
real
skilled. You're
life,
not a
in
civilian.
real life, which this game isn't, because you can't replicate it perfectly, then there's the cops, and the cops are much more effective in real life than they are in this server at keeping.
Then that's an issue. Giving civilians guns earlier on, as you just said, the biggest issue here is the fact that the cops aren't efficient, as you were saying. You're
User
saying that
joined your
no?
channel.
From your own mouth.
Well, I think
so. It's not
that-
giving guns to civilians. If you give guns to civilians, like I don't know, 6.5 and 5.56s, as you're suggesting, then we'll just end up like the US with everyone having fucking massive guns on their backs, and that would just demolish roleplay on the server.
But like, there's like, yeah, fuck, dude, whatever.
Okay, so
Yeah, but currently, Dan, there's a low count on roleplay anyway. And what do all these civilians? What are they earning money for? To get big guns.
The rebel license. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't like say that. What are they gonna do when they get that rebel license? They're gonna kill people.
Gonna do feds and attack the police.
unless there was like another big game, like instead of being a rebel corporation, there was another thing which made people think, oh, instead of being a rebel or corp, I'm gonna strive to do something else. Like if you could like make your own company with all the money you earn or something like that, and then like start
that's a
earning
good
money
idea.
like in profit, like you were saying, like another server ago, Dan, like
Oh, there's
earning
an auction
power off
house
of like
for
a
that.
solar panel company or something like that. You know,
Yeah.
like there should be something else motivating people instead of just, oh yeah, I want to be corporate
Plus-
so I can get bigger guns than rebel or something like that.
Plus, to be fair, we never had dark zones, did we? And now we've got a dark zone. And there is a lot of rebel fighting rebel go on up there. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know, increase the size of the dark zone or put some of more value in there to fight over. You know what I mean? To keep the heavily armed guys fighting over that and spending money on fucking bullets and equipment when they're dying, which would give the new people breathing space to earn some money to come and join the fight. You know what I mean? I just personally don't think we're ever going to get away from we all want to shoot each other. I just don't, no matter what we say about role
User
play,
left your channel.
well, I just don't think that's ever going to go, because that's the attraction.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's your fucking job,
Alright,
is to come
here's-
here and give us suggestions,
like,
not
there's
to
so
us.
many-
things
there's
that
so
people
many
can
things
do,
that-
guys. Listen.
This meeting was for you guys to give suggestions, not to sit and bitch, which you've already done on the forums.
Alright, so
I
here's
already told you, if you're gonna have this meeting, you should come with suggestions.
I've got a few
Well, they have.
suggestions.
That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
we've been
Let me
talking about.
talk.
We were talking about like for the first 20
Well,
minutes.
the point is, we need to find ways, it's not a suggestion.
Whose mic is that, which is really triggering me?
Guys, so a few suggestions to what people can do. When mentioning robbing hobos, you don't actually have to take everything they have when you rob someone. You could say, find some hobo that's doing copper, take a little bit of his profit. There you go, you've robbed them. You don't have to take everything. Same goes for hostage situations. You don't always have to take hostages just to get the best stuff you can. You can take hostages to give some good roleplay, chat with the cops, have some fun, and solve the situation or end up executing the hostage. It's not always about getting the best loot, the best, all the money, all the cards.
Yeah, that's true.
You say that, but every time that combat occurs, like every time, you know, I rob you, you rob me, it's a high intensity situation, and people are nervous, and you know, whatever you think, the other side is always plotting something. You know, when I take a hostage, the cops are always getting into position. Well, you know, when I rob the bank, you guys are always setting up snipers. You know, when I rob someone, you know, their gang members always coming around the corner. And
Well, then you should anticipate
Nugget.
that and you should know it's gonna happen.
That's the situation created by the rebels by always responding with shooting cops. We have to prepare for your snipers, your assault teams, because that's what we always get.
no, I know,
Every
I'm
time we respond to something, we get assaulted, and that is why we respond with having snipers ready. And so on. We expect to be stabbed in the back, and therefore we have to. We can't just walk in there, talk calmly, and resolve the situation like we should be able to.
I completely agree, but my point was just like you know, you can never have that like little bit of relaxation because it's always full on.
Now, if you
And it's always full on because you're not scared to lose your weapons. And why you're not scared to lose your weapons? Because they're so cheap.
That's like,
Actually, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
No, it's 100% true.
and
But
if
then
you
the
could-
cops as well. Yeah, they're only getting guns for like 1,000 or something each.
Yeah, but that's because the cops
that's
are
because we get
constantly
killed
getting
every
more. The
time.
cops die more than the players.
All right.
Maybe it's because they're bad, maybe it's because they're not, but that's what's happening.
I got a
that's their
suggestion
job,
the other day.
cops.
And if rebels start robbing people with pistols and such, you will be more inclined to get arrested and roleplay a little bit. It doesn't matter that much if you get arrested and lose your pistol. If you go around with a full kit worth 200k, obviously you're gonna do everything you can to survive and not lose that weapon.
Doc, you said we should come here with suggestions. I have a suggestion. Why don't you make a thing that's like the casino for the rebels, but the rebels rob it and the corp protect it. And
I put that in the forums a few months ago.
I mean,
but-
look, we can do that, but like the rebels never protect the casino, so what's it gonna do
literally,
for
as
the
you say
corps?
that, I'm protecting the casino right now as it's being robbed.
That's quite interesting because it's a very unique situation that rebels would do that. I guarantee you, ARF's never done it.
Maybe you should put it so. I think it was
I've
like
never done it.
in
I know,
Amarok
I've done
when somebody actually robbed the casino and came out of their bank.
Yeah, that's
Can,
so
can I
fucking
just
good.
say my suggestions before we end?
User joined your channel.
Go for it.
So my suggestions would be perhaps slightly bigger dark zone with something much more valuable in there and unique in there to fight over, which will bring all the heavy armed guys up there. And like I say, to be fair to the rebels, there is a lot of fighting goes on in them dark zones. I think another suggestion is to stop the corp being the police, like having so much to do with the police and always in the police station and always with the police. And that's about it. That's my
There's no
suggestion.
point having the corp unless you make the police a bit more unarmed, because the corporation they should be like, you know, a more of a military based police. They should be the ones fighting the rebels head on. But then
Yeah, but you've
when
got to
the
look at it
police
from the
are doing
corp's
that-
point of view. It's a bit boring.
Well, I
being
mean,
a
that's
corp.
what they are there for, but the cops obviously just aren't utilizing them. As
Well,
they
no,
should
it's
be.
not the cops aren't utilizing them. It's they're not needed because the cops have the same weaponry. they have.
There's
There's
not that many corp,
there's-
to be honest.
Yeah, no, that's also true.
No
but
one plays
there's
corp.
There's no incentive to be a corporation. What do you get? You get to be
Yeah,
a
well, I'm
corporation without
corporation.
killing
You better
people.
not diss me here.
The main point for corporation is it's not really what you get out of it. I mean, look, you get uranium, which gets you fuck tons of money. I know
Not
it's a long
anymore.
ass run, but
used
what?
to.
Not anymore. Was it nerfed?
No, you only make like 1 mil a run, 1.2.
For a whole
Worth
run.
doing.
Yeah,
Usually
Right,
used to
well,
make like 2 mil a run.
Takes
Uranium
so
will be
long
up
to
then probably.
I was possibly
Run.
thinking maybe taking out one of the processors. That would help uranium
Mhm.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Yes.
up uranium and we'll buff it up a bit. With regards to weapons, which seems to be the main issue. As I said, the lower weapons will be nerfed by a bit. So like maybe if an AKS is like 80k, I think now how much is it? An AKS.
I kind of agree with that because, like, I bought an M14, an MK14, and it wasn't that much because of what you were buying. But like the 6.5s cost too much. I definitely
Yeah,
agree with that.
6.5s, yeah. So those will be nerfed down a bit with regards to pricing. Now, with regards to weapons, what we can propose so that maybe we can make everyone happy, would be implementing a system in which shipwrecks and maybe even just shipwrecks and maybe we find a way how to make a weapons lock would provide items that you would need in order to build a 7.62 rifle or something, so we can utilize the crafting system for rebels, for instance, or for corporations.
Why don't you
depending
just
on
make
weapons.
weapons craftable, like at the crafting village?
Yeah, they'll be craftable. However, to get the parts, it's not just simply.
Oh, you've got to go to
you
the
have to
shipwrecks
go and
and
mine
stuff.
them. You have to go to shipwrecks and
But
you
like,
do that sort
you
of
could
stuff.
make it so that like simple weapons like TRG.
No, this isn't for simple weapons. This is for the bigger
No,
weapons.
this is for
This not bigger ones.
7.62.
Why don't you
Ah,
make like, the 50 cal craftable, but you've got to do, so, like say you've got to do a fed thing.
That's
go
what
to
I
the
said.
Shipwrecks, get some stuff like that.
Yeah. And
Like,
you like
quite a lot
you'll
of
rob
hard
the
stuff to
Fed
get the
and you'll
50
get
cal.
like you'll rob the Fed and you'll get like the blueprints of the 50 cal, and you could role play it as like cops technology or stealing the cops technology when you rob the Fed
Yeah.
or something like that, and
That
then you
sounds
have to go
interesting.
and you have to mine like 500 steel or whatever because people will do it.
Or
Yeah,
there could
maybe-
be like
maybe
another
do
thing
like
for
a-
a Fed.
As you were saying, maybe do like a military base for the corporation so they can go defend that, and then the rebels can like get a part for a gun from there. I don't know.
Obviously,
Well,
I mean,
that's
this
a
isn't
good
going to
idea.
be something that's going to be implemented tomorrow
No,
or
it's
till
not gonna
today, because
happen
the parts
overnight,
need to be
yeah.
made and all that. But however, they'll still be in the shop for now. But if people would rather craft them instead of actually buying them straight off, then maybe in future we could consider having a specific caliber of weapons being craftable only. Maybe in the far future, though, until people
I
get used
think
to it.
I think
'cause
one
not a
thing
lot of
that
people
you
use it.
should do quickly is make it so that the dark zone is more profitable, because right now people only really rob the dark zone for the combat, and I mean the drug cartel is absolutely worthless, absolutely worthless.
Yeah, because no one's doing runs because no one needs to make money because the guns
No,
are
I
cheap.
No,
used
no,
to-
no.
I made
even,
like
even like
I made over $1 million on the just from the
There you go.
drugs. Just on some people
made-
selling
yeah.
drugs, but this
I
was
made
at the
250
start.
grand.
This is when the Infinite Network came back up because a lot of people were doing drugs and doing
Yeah,
uranium.
yeah,
I got,
that's
two-
exactly my
I got
point, yeah.
250 grand off that the other day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
so
good
that's
source of
really-
making money if you
Yes.
have people doing runs. However, due to the fact that, I mean, we have players at the moment, I'm not going to mention names, but some of them have on the 10 million, 8 million. Those sort of people don't need to do runs, and with the previous prices, they could easily purchase guns for their clanmates.
No,
So
yeah,
no one needed to do runs with that sort of money.
FTS is a lot of those members. FTS has people with double digits in the 10 millions. Like one of the FTS members, I won't say his name, but he lent me like 8 mil, and I paid him back the next day. I gave him 10 mil because I could afford to do that. You know, it's like it's not hard to make money, so it should be harder. The cops need to crack down. The cops need to get more tactical and more efficient, just as well as.
Yeah, but that's hard. That's hard for them when they can't get out the fucking
definitely.
police station.
Well,
Sorry,
I
did
think-
you just say you made 8 mil in a day?
What didn't
Yeah,
do?
I've made more
No,
than that
he borrowed 8 mil.
Yeah,
off
but
somebody.
didn't he say he
No,
paid
but
back
then he
10
paid it
million the
back,
day after?
yeah.
I was
And
making a point. I was making a point.
Let me just
No,
tell
but
you
did
this.
you
though.
actually? Because if you did, then you have to tell us
Dan.
like, how the fuck you managed.
Before uranium was nerfed, if you did 4 runs, which
Yeah.
take about 40 minutes each, and fully boosted the price by buying something in the market to boost its price,
You got like 2 mil.
2.4 million a
2.2.
run. So basically, 4 hours you could make $10 million.
Basically, I done uranium for a full server restart when it was 6 servers, and I made like 12 mil, maybe more.
It's the boosting of the price that made it so profitable.
Alright, but
I made
Speaking
800k
of-
from the casino one time.
speaking of the prices, just one thing though. When I joined the server and had a flatbed truck, I could do a copper run, which is the crappiest thing except for apples, and I would afford a what was it, the 50k rifles. So I don't really see how even double prices there it's too expensive because I mean,
Yeah.
as with a flatbed truck, say I got a Hammett box and I do coke, I would make a lot of money. I would make enough for at least 2 full loadouts, or maybe 1 now, but of the best stuff there is.
I mean, before the prices were boosted, 30k could buy you a Corporation Spar 16S with a 150 round drum mag. For 30k.
Yeah.
That's a
So-
bit ridiculous.
Oh,
My
yeah,
gang
that
should
was fucking
easily
OP
be able to
shit.
manage double prices.
I think it was more the shock that led freewheel burning to call this meeting and stuff like that.
It's definitely the shock, and personally, that's why I took my time to answer, because I know for a fact that this will fucking chill as it always did, because I am used to this happening. There were always changes that initially did not fare well with players because of the direct implications. However, no one seemed to really give a shit about the long-term implications, which we looked at and we analyzed, and we thought that, yeah, they would work, which they did. So this is a similar case. Now that the guns are more expensive, people are going to need to do more runs. People are going to leave the APD, and they're
Yeah.
going to leave cops alone.
And
They
that
are going to
gives-
let them do their jobs. They're going to let them go out, and they're going to let them patrol the drug fields, yeah? People that are going to do drugs are going to allow owners of the drug cartel to get more money. So by doing runs, this is why I took maybe fucking 2 weeks to organize the runs and to fix the economy the way it is, so that people do runs and so that people spread out of the map a bit. But if people aren't going to need to do runs because they have a lot of money and the guns are cheap as fuck, then it's going to break the entire dynamic of the game.
But it's not
So
like
now
they
people
didn't do
actually
the
have to
work
run.
for that money. It's not like they duped that money or anything. They
Oh no, they did. But the point is, it takes too long for that money to run out, and to need to do proper runs.
point is
Like,
it's
I
not
remember-
balanced.
You see, when you're
Point.
getting
Yeah, it
when you're
wasn't.
getting people, corporation doing corporation runs, and you got rebels doing coke, corporation can go bust the rebels. It gives that the opportunity to roleplay as well.
I think there should be a place where people can
User joined your channel.
waste their hard-earned money, like the Dark Zone, but a bit more profitable. Like something you can do and get money from it, and then just be gone. Not have to spend like 3 hours camping it. I don't know what that is, but I don't know. Maybe like a weapons lockup. Like maybe you could get seized weapons to go into a box something like that.
Yeah,
That's on
that's
other
on
servers.
Armor Free Life.
Yeah,
Armor Free
yeah,
Life,
it
isn't
is. It is. Yeah.
What about you change the name to like a, I don't know, police weapon research facility or something like that, and then actually increase the size of the, I don't know, or put it
No,
somewhere around the map.
I was possibly thinking that maybe.
And
we
then
can-
make it so 10 cops have to be online to rob that, and for that you would get more chance of getting the high tier weapon blueprints and also other random guns which are in that area.
Yeah.
I was thinking we can move the other dealer thing into the dark zone as well, make it bigger. Just put them on opposite ends or something.
Yeah.
Well, like, what you call it? What you could do, and I don't know how you guys feel about it, but you could just make it so that you make less money. Like, keep the weapon prices how they are, but then just make less money for things. So the economy is a bit more realistic.
But that's a lot more to look. Let me give you an example.
But that was
when you do the prices for the runs, you have to take into account the distance, the amount of the license. You need to take into account the what you need before it in order to do that run, and you also need